shapes and sizes. They come with different cultures. Do you know who I am? So what do? So, but some, when they get to the organization, they toe the line and they become rounded. They do what you want them to do. They add value to the organization. However, some are bold. What do? They challenge your authority. Some are bureaucrats. What do? They toe the line. They don't go out of their quality. Others are corny. This is their season. Okay? Because we do, some of these organizations, we still practice APA, annual appraisal review system. Some do twice, but this is their season. Anytime that there's any festival, okay, well done. No. How are you preparing for Christmas? Sir? They are corny. So they wait for that time. So they want their way because they want you to score them A. If there's anything A+, they want it. And they have not been performing well throughout the year. Some know their limitations and keep on the safe side. They don't go out of their limit. Others ignore their limitations, and what do? They live their own life. They're jolly good fellow. They are man about town. But if we all manage to conform, we will be within that box. You know that box that they put all of us, CEO, manager, this, that box. All of us will remain the individual that we are. Okay? You can manage, you try to change them, but you can hardly change them unless they want to change. And the change will start with us as HR to manage them, to be able to add value to the organization. So let's go. How do we now manage these people within the diversity that we find ourselves, equity and inclusion and belonging? One thing I always say that diversity is natural. It started from creation. I'm not a pastor. I don't know much about the old books. But what we were told when I was growing up, because I'm still young, I would say when I was young, I'm still young. I just celebrated 19th anniversary of my 21st birthday. Don't calculate. I'm still young. Diversity started with creation. God created Adam. That means he was the only one, nobody. Then he cast a deep sleep. Remove from here a woman. That gives us what? Gender. Man, woman. But we didn't know how long he slept. That gives us the idea that Adam definitely must be older than Eve. So that gives us what? Age difference, demography. And that is part of what we are experiencing in the workplace. 4 generations in the workplace. The baby boomers are exiting. The ancient and all those ones, they've gone. The baby boomers that will still be in the organization are those who have doctored their age. Okay? So what do... We are not going there. So we have the Gen X, Gen Z, that everybody has issue with, whether X1 or X2, the Gen Z. Then we have the millennia. Then we have the Alpha generation. So those who are in the organization, they are the ones that we are leaving the place for. So diversity is from old. So what we struggle with is what? Inclusion. Because you may look at somebody and say, this is someone I love to hate. So you will not put that person in the scheme of things. Equity. Equity not started, but it came to the fore when the women met in Beijing, China. So they always call it Beijing Conference. We will see how we are going to manage equity. And equity, I always tell people, is that it doesn't have to be 50-50 down the middle. If you're okay with 70 and I'm okay with 30, so be it. The job will be done. Okay? So when we are talking of equity, don't look at it and say we must be fully represented. Even Nigerian Constitution did not say 50-50. They gave a percentage. So that is the inclusion, that is the equity that we want. Remember us. So let's quickly look at this. You've seen me before. Oh, I said this yesterday. Please take the anointing that came from that picture. I've not washed my hands since that time. So what are we going to talk about this morning? We now say The unpack the agenda, we're going to talk about the concept of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, the opportunities for embracing DEIB in place, unconscious bias. We talked about decision making yesterday. We talked about the unconscious bias, barriers to DEIB. Then we'll talk about DEIB initiative strategies and best practices. What can we do? Then we'll discuss if you have the time. If you don't tell me if the time is over, we'll be able to do that. Why is this topic so hot? So hot that we are talking about it. I'll give you my own personal experience. I went to one conference sometimes, and the man that took us to this on this topic said, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen." We said, "Good afternoon." "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen." He said, "Good afternoon." He kept saying, "Good afternoon." And I said, "What's wrong with this man that is sounding like broken record?" And he said, "You people have failed if I have to greet you now." He said, "Why?" He said, "If you find yourself in another client, and you say, 'Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen,' someone will say, 'Excuse me, I take an exception for that. What makes you feel that I'm a woman?' What makes you feel that I'm a woman?" But we don't know what Trump is going to do to that, but we are waiting. January is just next month. So that is why the topic is so hot that you need to manage. And I'm sure we don't have any Bobrisky in the house. Mama Lagos is outside Nigeria now, so we can talk about him, she. She, him. Him, she, him. Shim. Okay, Shim. Okay. So we can talk about Shim now. At least it's not here. So that is why that topic is very hot. We need to manage it well when you go out there to manage people. So in the midst of the chaos of the 21st century, you see, and the world is so volatile, we need to see that the world is changing at a rate that we don't even understand. Yesterday, I was watching one of these as a program or something online, and I read that I saw and read that Elon Musk said he's going to, as early as 2030 or next year or something, is going to develop a humanoid that will carry babies. I don't know how many of us have seen that. He said he will do that they will have everything. They can even give birth on your behalf, that we don't need surrogates anymore. The surrogates will be in those robots. So it's up to us. The world is changing at a rate, that is space that we don't understand, but will still be there. So how can we get a diverse group to buy into a common vision? Okay? So it's very important that all of us should understand as HR, when you come across this, you don't get annoyed and say, "Do you know that I'm a Christian and my faith does not allow me to?" You may throw out the best person that to solve the solution. So let's look at a diverse workforce in the workplace. Okay, so it allows for us to see different viewpoints, challenges, new trends, what type of products the organization will want. Some people don't want to sweep anymore, so I just need a robot that I can just twin and does the job for me. I don't have to go to the market. I don't have to do all those things. Just buy yourself a robot and it will do everything for you. There's carless, driverless cars now. So all these new trends, if we say, "Oh, we are not interested," you'll be left at the seashores while the ship sets sail. So it also motivates staff to get there. So an inclusive environment values diversity because it gives us the opportunity to think. We have to start thinking and we will get there. So when we are now talking of diversity, see this, different faces, different colors make up this particular face, and that is diversity. Equity, as we said, is it balancing the scale? No, just be included in whatever is going on. Take me into consideration. This human being, all this, like what we said before, are equal to the individual. We need to manage them. See, all this will not show. All those faces there is equal to the individual that will help us to get the job done. So what do? The men of quality respect women or women's what? Equality. Equality means remember us in the scheme of things, not necessarily 50-50 down the line. And that takes me to that song. I love it so much. We are going to, in the next 2 months, we are going to sing it on February 14th, that day that we wear red. It's so good loving somebody and somebody loves you back. To be loved and be loved in return is the da 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 da. Let me not crack my voice. When it gets to a particular point, what did Teddy Pendergrass say? He said 70-30, 60-40, 50-50. So if you are happy with 30, go. The job will be done. If I'm happy with 40, don't worry. To me, that is inclusion. Supposing you grabbed everything, you become an emperor or you become Mr. Total. What happens? So remember, we need to, yes, gender wording matters in some climes, and we need to manage that well. So what is the concept of diversity, equity, and inclusion? Diversity does what? Involve the presence of differences within a given setting. In the workplace, we are HR, we need to manage them well. So look at what diversity includes: race, ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation, age, social class. Do you know who I am? In our midst here, we have professors, we have doctors, we have those who are already PhD, but they still want to acquire this professional certification so that they'll be able to move up there. So that is what diversity is all about, ethnic value. And that is why some of us that grew up in the 60s, oh, I'm so young, those of us that remember the old new or new old national anthem, you see, oh God, no, what do you call it? I can't remember. Nigeria, we hail thee. How they are native now. Though tongue and tribe may differ, that is the difference. That is the diversity. In brotherhood we stand. That is it. So we need to manage all of this: religious, ethnic, ethical, ethnic, as well as political differences. So we'll be able to say, okay, all of us cannot sleep, like what the native people say, and put head on the same direction. Watch the other person's back. Equity is what? Fair treatment. Fair treatment, access, opportunity, and for us to be able to move, advancement. So it's not talking about 50-50. When people talk about equity, don't join them. So diversity is about race, ethnicity, background, to benefit of workplace diversity. Auntie, can you take one minds? We'll be able to think, where are we going? What are we going to do to make our lot better? Okay? Because diversity will not just say one person is as well as for themselves. So remember, when we finish, you'll be able to see there are more, but these are the 10 that we have brought to the fore. So it's very important. Increase creativity. If all of us were men, homogeneous, then the organization will not move. Okay? If the organization is heterogeneous, we'll be there for one another. So let's move on. If you have any question online, please let me know. Online, we have not forgotten. If you have any question, please type. Break into my transmission. There'll be no power failure, please. Okay? But don't tell me, go back to that slide. That is when there'll be power failure. So what are the concepts of diversity, equity, and inclusion? You see, this is part of what we said earlier. Perception. The way you stand wherever you are placed, some people will see it as 6, while some will see it as 9. So what do you do? If somebody saying, and I say, okay, come over to my side, I say, I can't come. Do you know that I'm the boss? Say, but okay, I'm seeing 6. Then me, I'm seeing 9. So what do? We need to get a way of resolving. So when you are talking of diversity will affect the 3 levels: internal, that will also affect the individual and bring about your personality; the external, those that you are relating with, whether immediate environment or those who are not within your organization. Then we have which within the larger society or the world. So we need to manage these 3 levels very well that will affect the individual, that we see the 6 or the 9, or that we see anything that we can manage in the workplace, so that the workplace will be an easier place for all of us. So HR, we need to manage this. As I always say, HR, we are the middle belt. Okay? When HR faces management, they are backing the workforce. But when they are backing management, they are facing the workforce. So as HR, let's look out and see what we can do to make their lots better. So what is the concept of diversity, equity, and inclusion? Inclusion. You feel that you are welcome and respected, supported and valued. Belonging, a sense of being accepted, welcome and accepted, included and valued in a group. Yes, those are sweet to hear and to know. But something comes in after these two. I'm included in the scheme of things. I think I belong to the group, and they are welcome me. I'm part of them. But something comes in. It creeps in without our knowing, or we whether fully. That's why we are going to talk about conscious and unconscious bias. And that is what we in Nigeria have turned to marginalization. We are all in it, but the management people have called it discrimination. But in Nigerian parlance is what? Marginalization. You are already in it. You are included. You belong. But somewhere along the line, they discriminate against you. What do we do as HR in the workplace? So we look at it: equity, diversity, inclusion, belonging, and discrimination. So let's look at discrimination, because we have talked about equity, diversity, inclusion, discrimination, unequal, unfair treatment of individuals or groups. They crop in, they come in, maybe consciously or unconsciously. We need to manage them. So what are the opportunities for embracing diversity, equity, inclusion in the workplace? One, it gives us the opportunity for innovation and creativity. When the person feels that I'm not being discriminated against, they will put in their best. Then attracting and retaining talent. When talents feel that, oh, this place I'm adding value, and they appreciate the value that I'm adding, irrespective of my size, shape, or whatever, they just want me to add value to the organization. So what do you do as HR? Everybody come inside. How do you keep them when they want to jackpot? What do you do? First, you need to recognize their efforts. Two, you encourage them. How do you encourage them? That is why some organization, or all over let's say some organization, what do they do? Staff of the year, the reward system, by encouraging them to stay. They also give them staff of the week, staff of the month. All those are all the reward system that will make them stay, to encourage them to stay. In spite of this, some will still jack up, but you know that you have recognized them, and they're in a better place to retain this talent. Talent management is a whole topic on its own, but we need to, just the tip of the iceberg, you need to know what? Recognize them, bring them in, and make them stay. So better decision making, in whatever decision making, when you have so many people in there, that's why we say that two good heads are better than one. So in diversity, two good heads are better. Then we also manage the team, and that is what diversity gives us the opportunity. Compliance and risk management. Those people we said in that our Homo sapien, that they told the line, they will tell you, no, we can't go that way. We need to comply. There are so many organizations out there. If you are into food, what do they call it? Fast consumer goods, okay, and you are HR there, you need to register your company with NAFDAC, whatever products that you are doing. Some you need to go into CAMA and all sorts, CAC and everything, compliance, and you now know that, yes, for your organization to be ISO compliant or whatever, we need to be compliant with some of these and manage the risks that are involved in managing people in the workplace. Now, opportunities for embracing this. Also improved employee engagement and morale. Employees, when you get them engaged, they don't feel out of place. they believe that this organization is a place I should sit and be able to work well. You get them engaged, they feel everything they owe the organization to develop. And the same thing as empowerment, because they can't be there without you at one point in time empowering them. So what we do is that employee empowerment and engagement go together. So you need to make them feel that one day I will exit, you will take over. Okay, so going up, empower them, and that is the old delegation empowerment. Give them power and authority to perform at a point in time. Then you get them engaged. Then with that, they stay longer, and their morale is also what leads to higher job satisfaction. Then you also foster a positive organizational culture. If your culture is not right, people will jet out of your organization. And this, the issue of culture, when you transmit culture, it's not something that you write down. You tell them over time. But if the culture is not right, people will see the place as being toxic, their mental health. So HR is important that we look at the positive nature in our organization so that we don't develop toxic organization. Brand's reputation, enhance brand reputation. Why is it that sometimes when people want to buy noodle, they say, give me that Indomie. Nobody knows any noodle. And it's not Indomie, there's another one. Okay? And that is why everybody wants to say your brand should be something that HR should make our employees to run with the dream, to champion the brand. That is why I know two soft drink manufacturers in Nigeria, and it's all over the world. If you are a member of organization A that is proceeding the drink for A, and you are in B, when you are running a party, they should never find the drink of A in your organization. Okay, so that is part of brand reputation. So these are some of the things that we will tell them, our employees, to engage in. Global competitiveness. You know, Nigeria, we say the world is a global space. So we need to, as Nigeria is now, we want to be part of the world. That is why Mr. President is going all over the world, that by us, not by us, we are human beings, we are also giants of Africa. So what we need to do as HR, it starts from that person, and that person is you, HR. So we need to look at it and be globally competitive. And you remember, like, always is the issue of, let's take this one. When you find yourself outside of this country, Nigeria will say, oh, we export food stuff and we do this, we do that. If you get to some country, they will not buy our yam. Why? Because those who are selling yam, when there is a hole, find yourself in my 12 or any yam, even though you don't have to get to my 12, and there is a hole somewhere, they will take mud and seal it. And they want to export such out of this country. We can take it. Those out there, they cannot. So anywhere we find ourselves, each one of us as HR, those who are in production or wherever they are, let us ensure that what things that we do or produce are done according to international acceptable best practice. And that is why we're going to go to that later. So we now want to talk about unconscious bias in decision making. Bias has two-pronged, it's a two-pronged approach: conscious and unconscious. The unconscious one, you just know that I didn't know that I have that. I didn't know that I'm biased. You are unconscious about it until somebody brings it to you, and that is HR. When they bring somebody from one place to us, from the one part of the organization to us, what do we do? So let's quickly look at it. So unconscious bias in decision making. One of those things that affect our unconscious bias is what we call implicit association. What is implicit association? As HR, when certain individuals are to a particular trait, or you now stereotype them. But always a stereotype. and it affects us. It's an unconscious thing. Immediately you hear Nigeria say, we find yourself outside of this country. Before you say Africa, you say yes. West Africa is here, Nigeria. Okay? Because they say we are loud, we're bold, we are whatever. But for whatever it is. So when they now want to relate with us, that's what they use in judging us. And it's the same thing, bring it back home. Because you say, women, not married. Mm-hmm. When are you getting married? In the next 1 year. Okay. Those who pass the interview will hear from us. What is going on in his mind? A single girl that is going to get married soon. Then we have retinue of what? Maternity leave. I say maternity leave. I give you the story of one of my DGs in those days, Director General. When I was coming in, some of us were still in productive age. One of my friends, she came in pregnant, but she was something good, and so they didn't know she was pregnant. A few months down the line, she asked for maternity. They said, you have not spent 1 year. What is this? So we said, okay, let them just give her 1 month. She would manage, and she did. The following year, the director said, I said, did we employ you? And that's why I'm putting to you, because I know you cannot carry belly. Did we employ you to sleep with your husband? So he said, we will not give you. The woman said, within a space of this. So we need to look at it. When you now look at it, I say, women unmarried, you already associate that person that small. The person will be going forward, maternity leave, stereotype. And you never can say, she may not even be ready to give birth almost immediately. So what do you do? HR, unintentional, but it's a discriminatory comment about people. And when you see them inside, well, the aggression that they're doing here, their type are like this, is that goes into, or the implicit association comes in, because immediately you see the person, the stereotype mind comes to you, and you start impacting that negative on the organizational culture as well. It gives room for inequality, because by the time you look at the stereotype, you look at the implicit association, you look at the microaggression, it affects our culture as HR. Because you now look at it and say, we don't do that here. And but I saw somebody do it. Say, when did you see the person? HR. These are some of the things that we need to put in place when we're talking of onboarding and orientation of our new staff. Remember, I said HR is what? Everybody come inside. It's L&D. So HR is the boss that carries everybody into the organization. L&D is the mechanic. Because when they fall short of what you put them into training and say, train them. So we need to onboard them and do what? Do a lot of orientation so that they will get there. Then the next one is what? Influence on workplace decision. Unconscious bias can affect so many decisions in the workplace in terms of hiring, promotion, even when you have the books. But because we are human beings, and you look at that individual, you now say, I have my own decision to small thing like this. That is why that person will not be able to get the job, or will you make the person not to be promoted. Confirmation bias. This occurs when you've already had an information about a particular individual, and they move that individual from one department to your department, or from one part of the organization or whatever, or part of the world to that, and you now know that that person has been described as a rebel rooster. So what do? When that person now gets to you, you are just looking for the slightest opportunity. And you just say, bad you are, bad you always remain, because they told me about you. That was why they brought you. That is why as HR, we moved you to that place. So what do? Bad you are, bad you always remain, bad you always behave. And that is called what in modern management? The philosophy of self fulfilling prophecy. Somebody has prophesied that is what you are. So you have now brought yourself to fulfill what they have said about you. So how do we manage this unconscious bias? It's inside of us. And how do we manage it? So outside the strategies that we need to put in place, and these are what you need to reduce the impact of unconscious bias. That means you have to come back and say, I am aware that I lose my temper easily. So what do I need to do? I need to calm down. And what did they say? Anger management. I've gone for anger management. They said when I'm annoyed, I should count 1 to 20. But if it is my wife, what do? I should continue counting over 100. So when you have unconscious bias, be aware that something is wrong and you need to make a conscious effort to change that. So what do we do? Barriers to diversity of the equity and inclusion. Unconscious bias, we have said that before. What is the impact of that? It can lead to discrimination, favoritism, exclusion of certain groups, and those groups may be the one that will help us. Resistance to change. Once they know that it is coming from you, they said, don't worry. We will stall whatever the HR is bringing. Whatever that person is bringing, we are going to stop it in its track. So that is part of it. Then lack of leadership commitment. These are barriers. When the management is not committed for us to bring in diversity and equity, manage resources. Inadequate resources, the resources to implement diversity, equity, and inclusion, they will not be there. It will not be there, or they'll give us something paltry that will not make us do what we want to do. Exclusionary practices and policies. Policies from the outset has excluded some people. But remember, HR, we are part of those in the boardroom that make these policies that we throw to the people to implement. So we need to be there. Immediately they are writing the policies or we are formulating the policies. Think of those people that are impacted by the policies. Tokenism, that is, token that you have for doing transacting business. Immediately you don't move fast, the number disappears. That is what it is in diversity and inclusion. Just give you something that you work with and they move on. So it's just that they are not committed to getting it done. They are not genuine in their intention to get diversity, equity, and inclusion well done. Cultural misalignment. This is what issue of friction within the organization and other people. Ineffective communication. Ineffective communication can emanate from 4 areas: reading, writing, speaking, and understanding. If you don't write it well, the person will not understand. If you don't say it well, the person will not understand what you're doing. And if the person does not understand, he will not be able to comprehend. So it's very important that as HR, make it as simple as possible so that all of us will get to understand. So what is the impact of that? The employees are not informed or involved in what they are likely to do for the organization. Measurable goals. This stem from our strategies, KPIs, and key results area. So you need to make people to be accountable for whatever they are doing. HR, each person, each department or business must be able to do that. Then stereotyping and discrimination. We've already mentioned stereotype earlier, and it can lead to discrimination in the workplace. So these barriers to equity and inclusion and belonging in the workplace can prevent organizations from fully realizing the benefits that they can get from that. So we need to overcome these barriers and get it done. So what are the barriers? Summary of what we have been saying. Barriers to equity is what? Race, ethnicity, down to ignorance. I didn't know. No, you know. You should be able to manage all of this. These are the barriers. 2, who can provide solutions? International organization to you and I, then Good Samaritan that wants to fight a good cause. How do we improve the issues? Through reforms. Even in Nigeria, some people are saying that they should reform the law that talks about those with special needs. They say they don't want to be called people with disability. People with disability, they have ability to do some things, and that is why we have the Paralympics. Okay, so we should look at it and what are their special needs, and we work in that. So reforms down to training program, train your people to accept those people into their midst. Okay, it is very important as HR. So let's move on. Diversity initiative strategies and best practices. These are what the strategy under leadership commitment and accountability is ensure that management is committed to it. What is the best practice there? Integrate leadership performance evaluation. Even leaders, even HR, we should be assessed that are we doing our job? That is why some organizations come with the process. Even HR, they will know whether you're doing your job well. Inclusive onboarding and development during orientation and everything. Please include topics like this so that all of us will work in harmony. We'll be there together and we get the organization to do. Regular evaluation and adaptation. Continuously evaluate what is going on within your organization. What is the best practice? Conduct regular survey and feedback. Okay, even if you don't have a R&D department, get it done yourself and see how well we are managing it. Celebrating diversity. Okay, organizations, that is why the United Nations and all other not only human rights, they celebrate each day, maybe one day for cancer patients, one day for HIV. They are different, but they need to come into the organization. You know, once upon a time when they discovered HIV/AIDS, those who have HIV/AIDS, they say, go, 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 go. Don't infect others. Don't let them contract the disease. But now they are here. They are with us. Okay. So it's very important that we need to celebrate that there are different people under the sun. So we also need inclusive communication, encourage dialogue around this. What can we do? What can we be at organization of choice? We also need our those around our place of and that's what gave rise to the CSR. Okay, the CSR is what? Who knows the CSR? The Ogoni and everything. So we need to have that. It is still they are part of our stakeholders. So let's look at inclusive communication. Confucius once said, if what is said is not what is meant, what is meant is not what is said, then what should have been done remains undone. So you see how it plays with the word. So we need to manage our people, tell them, show them, let them put their hands on it and see that they are part of the process. It's very important that we get that. So let's look at inclusive policies. Okay. Inclusive policies and practices that will help us get everybody in, implement a flexible work arrangement. Nowadays, I would say thank God, thank in quotes, for COVID. The workplace has changed and has changed forever. People work from home throughout. They don't even get to see the office. When they were interviewed online. When they got the job, they did everything online. Even Lagos State, they said that the junior staff should come 3 times a week. Then the senior one, whether 4 times a week or something, I can't remember. But outside of this client, people get engaged without seeing person to person who interviewed them. They just do everything online. They are working online. They are delivering, they are giving results, they are delivering whatever they want them to do. So what do? How can we manage this? Remote working, okay? Hybrid workplace. Is it possible? HR. It's up to us to manage that. Policies that will make our people to be happy working with us. Then data-driven decision making. Is anything coming online there? Hey, baby. Hi, baby. Anything online? Question? Okay. So then data-driven decision making. Don't just say, how many of us, let me ask this question, believe the data from National Bureau of Statistics are right? Plus or minus? Margin of error. What did you say? Did you say their imagination? Let's give them margin of error instead of throwing them out. One day they will get it right. But why do we not believe the data that is coming from outside of this country has been right? Because of our attitude inside of our organization. When you even share questionnaires and everything, people don't get to fill those questionnaires. So that is why I always encourage people use the old method of what? That box, suggestion box, faceless. Drop it and people will just drop something there. Don't they will respond, they will just put it there. And you go once a month or once in 2 months, get it out and analyze. Always encourage them because data in Nigeria is something that but we need to manage it. Research and development in our organization, some of the research are not just it because of our own attitude to research in the workplace, but we still need data to be able to manage that. Equitable compensation and promotion policies. HR, this is in our pot. We need to manage that. Regular pay equity, audit, and ensure that promotion criteria are followed. Though we know the Nigerian factor may affect promotion. Some of us suffered it, will be there for ages, and those who came after you will move on because of our policies, quota system, that, especially for those of us that are in the public sector. So we also employee resource group. This group are the people that give the voice to the organization and they ensure that there is cross collaboration between all these groups that will make sure the organization goes well. And that is what diversity is all about. Fostering a culture of belonging, encourage team building and team activities, then ensure that everyone's voice is heard and respected. Inclusive, see that? Did you see that 7? Scroll that to that 7, 8. Let's see what happens there. Then inclusive leadership development. You remember yesterday when we talked about the triangle, some people move from the bottom to the top. Put them in, bring them in, and they'll be able to be there for us when the chips are down. Now, we have entered post-normal time. Before it used to be post-normal. Even after now, post-normal. After that, a post-normal time in strategic HR. So always look ahead, analyze present terms that will get us there. Awareness of diversity, equity, and inclusion will be something that is key, and we need to act on it seriously. We're able to grow the people and get their minds to be well trained to prepare for the future. Before we end, we need to please look whether there is anything on that. Questions? Before we end, remember the following. It's a summary of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Where is Ife? Where is Ife? We're going to go soon to the presence of differences is diversity. Equity is what? Fair access, opportunity, and support, not 50-50. See. Then inclusion, genuine sense of belonging and value and being valued. Belong to that organization and will be there. So not the final word. Diversity, equity, and inclusion and belonging initiative are crucial for us to get the organization moving. Effective strategies and business best practices will make our business outcome better. We implement these strategies and best practices can help organizations build a diverse, equitable, inclusive, and belonging focused workplace. This effort not only improve organizational culture, it also helps us to get there. It is not about you. What is it about? It is not I, my own, or whatever. That is what we call myonization, myonization. It is about us, about we, not I, not me. Build a community and avoid what? Myonization. Okay? We all succeed together. No one succeeds alone. We need people, and it is all about all of us. So what do you need to do? Stop what you did that did not get you to where you want to be. So what do? What did we do that got in our way and should be discontinued? Stay doing that which the organization as well as to you. So what did we do that worked well for us and we should continue doing? Then start those things that will take us to the top of the mountain and not leave us at the bottom of the valley. So what didn't we do that will have taken us to be more effective, and we should start doing. So it's very important that we need to get this done. So on this, let's see. The most selfish one-letter word is what? Fantastic. I love this theme. I love that. So what do you do to that? What do you do to I? You change it to we, correct. All answers are correct. So most selfish one-letter word is I. So what do you do? It to be correct. So we now go to this. Did she show you? Where is the fair place? Else I can show the. So let's use this 1 minute to quickly before Ife comes in, because if you see the picture, if you see the video, you'll not be able to enjoy it so well. It will show in the not the active mode. Okay. So let's quickly take questions from online and those of us that are here, because this is the last slide, and I want us to see this video that is in that slide. Please show us this video. So by that, and we will take the video, and if there's any question, can we quickly take the question before I take my leave? Please, can we see anybody online that has questions? We have anybody on site that has questions for us? Something that has been bothering you as HR, and you want us to take that for you. So maybe it could be after the video, but I want you to watch the video carefully and take some things home away from the video. It's very important that we
say goodbye to overtime.
There's something for all of us there. Volume, please.
Mr. Chris Myler, an elderly carpenter who was ready to retire. He told his employer of his plans to leave the house building business to live a more leisurely life with his wife and enjoy his extended family. Now, he would miss the paycheck each week, but he wanted to retire. The employer was sorry to see his good work go and asked if he could build just one more house as a personal favor. The carpenter agreed and started working on the last project of his life. Since it was his last project, he worked half-heartedly. He said goodbye to overtime. He did not consider to find the best cement mixture. He did not consider having a swimming pool in this project. He did not use quality wood for doors. The furniture was not of good quality. The employer called the carpenter in his office and gave the keys of this newly built house to the carpenter, saying, "This is my gift to you for your such a commendable service over 15 years. The carpenter was shocked. What a shame. If he had only known he was building his own house, he would have done it all so differently. So it is with us. We build our lives a day at a time, putting less than our best into the building. Then, with a shock, we realize we have to live in the house we have built. If we could do it over, we do it much differently. But you cannot go back. You are the carpenter, and every day you hammer a nail, place a board, or erect a wall. Someone once said, life is a do-it-yourself. But your attitude and the choices you make today help build the house you live in tomorrow. Therefore, you should build wisely.
Thank you very much. When you get home, please go online and see that particular video, and you will love it. The other part that was not showing is something that you need to. A true story of a carpenter is an inspiration that anywhere, everywhere we find ourselves, whether within Nigeria, within your organization, wherever. Put in your best. Don't do it as if, oh, this is my life's job, let it go. And it's the same message we should carry on to our staff out there. So thank you for listening. I want to take 1 or 2 questions from online and on site, and we'll be able to.
So this is the story of a manager of a
the story of a carpenter. I always like to finish my presentations with that because it's a lot to go away with. So question time, blessing time, experience sharing, more blessing. Question time, blessing time. Okay, question. Oh, lovely. We take one here. If there's anyone there and 1, 2 online, we'll take that. Can you please give them the mic? Someone's hand is there. 1 person is here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ambassador. First of all, I want to appreciate you on this very unique subject that you have brought to us, an enlightenment on HR. Mine is not a question per se, but a kind of an addition. We thank God for the paradigm shift in human resource. You know, Abini should be, they will tell you, wait for your time. Wait for your time. The ones that are coming are no longer interested. Their enthusiasm goes down, and it's always very low. And also, incentivization of staff is something that every organization needs to take seriously. You talked about reward process, award process, and recognition. Yes, you can still see that most organizations that we have now, they don't have good reward system if they have a reward at all. For encouraging staff, this reward system is very, very important. We know we cannot fully eliminate the chakras. And the reason we are not carried along in this climb is not just there. One thing I also want to ask you is, Madam, you were talking about equity. What equity and equality? You didn't talk about equality. Let's measure on what about equality? What has it got to do in human?
Let's take all so that we just mention everything together. As someone had there, so your question is just equity and equality. Oh, good afternoon, fellow inductees. Good afternoon, ma'am. I wanted to ask this question. I attempted to ask this question last night during the lecture. So my question is, how do you deal with a toxic employer? Yes, your employer is a toxic person. Thank you. Okay, let's say 2 for
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. At first, the faces I saw from this first slide, I saw 5. You gave us 4.
Okay, you saw 5.
I saw 5. So maybe it's a perspective. Thank you, ma'am. Question is discrimination in recruitment. You mentioned the female gender, and we begin to see 5 months. It used to be 4 months. Now, annual leave is inclusive, 5 months. Hardly has to when she's pregnant. 5 months is gone in a full calendar year. As HR manager, what is my role seeing a pregnant woman coming for an interview? That's number one question. The second one is similar to it. Special genders, special people.
People with special needs.
Yes.
People with special needs, not gender.
Special people like autism. Special needs, yes. Like autism, people who cannot speak or hear. Since who came for an interview, working staff cutting. The HSC manager directed it to the canteen to advise. They came back to me again. My role as HR manager for special people. Thank you.
Many countries. Here in Nigeria, I find it difficult to understand the system as it applies to attitude of workers. And you also understand that here in Nigeria, just as my colleague mentioned, some employees are toxic. When do you think is most appropriate time to fire an employee? Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, we take this now. Appropriate time to fire. There's no appropriate time to fire. You have policy. If you fire anyhow, they take you to court. Okay. As I mentioned yesterday with public service, there are gross misconduct. They throw paper at you, you fire them, you fire yourself. Or so you can't fire them. So what? Unless it's one-man business, and when it is one-man business, he can fire and hire. All he has to do is cook up story and say you are not fit, something, and it's your word against that person. But for government or public service where they have rules and you can't fire anyhow. You can't Jonah the person like that. It's not possible. Okay? It's not. You have rules, you have a staff handbook and all that guide you to do that. I hope we hear some of Nigerians. That is why we are HR. One thing about attitude is that when we are sending people for attitudinal training, don't make that error. You can't send someone attitudinal culture. Organizational culture is different from mine. When you are training people for attitudinal training, let it be institute that is within the organization, because it's the same culture that binds all of us. And it is that person that we want to change, or those people we want to change, to be able to manage the organization. Because when I go out there, we want to talk about attitudinal training. His own culture is different from mine. So what you need to do, create a training that would change everybody within the system. That is part of your change management process. Awesome. Okay, people, you want to say something? Okay, sir. Okay. Then somebody mentioned the people with special needs. How do you treat them? Okay, it's also your policy. Okay, if you don't have a policy that will take care of people with special needs and you bring them in, you will have issues. Whatever you need to do is that even people with autism, some of them, they have this spectrum of autism. There's some people that at their own autistic level, they can be very creative. I don't know how many of us know the story of one autistic child that broke into the Pentagon system, and they said, "Who is this?" From his own parents' computer, and he went in there. So it's not all autistic people or children that have that are very bad, but you need to learn to manage them. But if your policy says don't bring in, you notice any autism in anybody, don't bring them in. Don't. In all of this, one size does not fit all. We need our policies to guide us, to do that. What's the next? Okay, toxic employer. What do you do to a toxic employer? One thing that you should do, when we were in service and in those early days of L&D, they said there is what they call managing your boss. Managing your boss. And we mentioned something yesterday about emotional intelligence or emotional management. But if you know that it's going to affect your mental health, please jet out. Jet out. Toxic environment, please leave the place. Okay? But if you can still manage emotional management, you'll be able to get there. Then learn to understand your boss and you'll get there. Okay? Equity and equality. Equity and equality. Equality will think of 50-50. Equity will say we think more of inclusion. Equity, we think of inclusion. Equality, we think that one man standing, another one standing. Okay? It's more of 50-50. It's more mathematical than equity. Quota system. Quota system is not even 50-50 like that, but it's more of mathematical equation. Equality is more of mathematical, or equity. Get everybody in. Any other person I've not mentioned?
There's one online that says, how do you manage an employee that doesn't want to adhere to company policy? You know, sometimes some of them came in through powers that be, and because of that, they want to use that level to relate with
Do you know who I? Do you know who I know? Do you know who I know?
I am.
Do you know who brought me? Mr. Bimi, I am Imamadu. Okay, what do you do to that? An employee that does not toe the line, that does not, what you do, there are different levels at which you can attend to that. One, you can use peer influence. Tell somebody that knows that person, say, talk to your party now. What he's doing is not good. He's going to find his way out. Two, you can talk about counseling, coaching, mentor the person, see what you can do one-on-one. If the person does not, if there's money, send him on training. He may learn from outside people. That's what he feels that is good to him. Like I mentioned, I don't know whether it was in this class or yesterday or somewhere. There are some people when, like especially in communication, before you say this, yeah, and they now say, why are you always behaving like this? They say, my father. My father told me that my grandfather, I am the reincarnation of my grandfather. That is a lie. I'm Agu. That's why they call me Nnamdi. I'm sorry for those who are Nnamdi. Sorry. Or Baba today or whatever. I said, that time is different. It's in my family to shout. I said, you will shout and you will die. This world is so, there's a thin line between death and life. You shout, and before you shout, the person is gone. Those of us that read the newspapers online, one ex-commissioner in Ondo State died last week. He was quarreling with a policeman, or the policeman stopped him. They said the policeman took to his heel. He didn't kill him. He killed himself because he was shouting, shout, and he shouted. So please, in any situation, if that person does not change himself after training, you use peer influence, you use coaching, mentoring, and whatever, counseling, and the person does not change. Give the person, throw the books at the person, their policies on staff matters. Give the person a white paper. These are symbolic. If you don't like this job, write your resignation. If you don't want us to send you packing, but if they're going to be so Jonah him, or else you spoil the organization.
Okay,
thank you so much.
One also from online says, how do you handle bias promotion? Bias promotion. I'm sure it's very close to the last one we mentioned, you know, like when the authority says, take this person to 2 steps, 4 steps, 3 steps, and you are the HR, and something at the top. A guy at the top says, take him to that level. It's definitely a bias promotion. So as HR, how do you handle that?
Bias promotion. There are some things that are beyond you, HR. There are some things that are beyond you as HR.
If you don't want to be Jonah.
If you don't want to be Jonah, there are some things that are beyond you, especially when it comes to a private organization. But for public, they're usually either you say 3 years or 4 years, and you write CBT or you write exams and all that. But the only place where they can be biased is when you have one-on-one, when I'm supposed to score you and I score you higher than somebody because I know you. That is part of the equity that we're talking about. However, if you say that it is very glaring, it will not be so glaring. They will find a way of wrapping it around something that will make you to feel that, oh, that person used one senior me. Like this, somebody's laughing. Like this program we're running now. You go for an interview, you go for promotion exercise, and somebody saying, "Hi, where are they going? They are going to Chartered Institute of what? I'm not going. I don't have that money." The day of reckoning, they now say, "Okay, everything. It happened to me. Personal development. I'm telling you from my personal experience. In those days, they were not sending us outside of the country, and I saw that this thing is very important. So I started going every year. At one point in time, some of my directors and all of them, they were frightened or whatever, jealous or whatever. One year I needed permission to go. That was the week they now said we were having promotion exam. I'd already paid and everything. So I told them that I would defer that amount till the following year. Lo and behold, few days, they cancelled the promotion. So what did you do? Honestly, promotion interview. They cancelled and I couldn't go. I couldn't go for my because every year I was going. But what I want to bring out there is that when it the time of promotion, yours sincerely, because they counted everything. You are a member of this, you are a member of that, you are this, you are that. See, tell us why should, and it was spirit of hindsight of what I learned that I used in dusting them. And they were out. Experience. Honest, at least you this fellow Chartered Institute of Human Resource and ID, they say, oh, so you belong to what? Tell us about what you can do with what your certification and whatever and all those things. Hello. Very important. It's very important that please don't underrate your don't underrate yourself. Self important. Out of 22 director during my time, yours sincerely came first. Why? Because I was going to Abuja representing the organization. I was doing personal development. And when they said, I didn't know. They came to tell me that when we wrote the exam, they were carrying the paper down. Who is this? You know, for those of us in HR, you don't put your name. You just put number. They started saying, who wrote this? Who wrote this? Who wrote this? I didn't know until after that they told me. So it's very important. Don't underrate whatever. And please, when you have the opportunity to train yourself, please do that. Self-development, you can play with it. And you are in the right place. More grease to your elbows and more feathers to your cap, those big caps.
Thank you very much. All right. Once again, applause to Madam, please. Applause to her. If we really do something, please let me celebrate her. I always say that about her because I know she's deep and she has a way of communicating these details that matters. Thank you very much, those of you online. We could get your points. That's why we pick your questions there and she answered them. So same to those of us here on site. You know, if you look at the crux of the matter, we pointed at genuity of your mind, of where you are going, how you behave when you get there, what you're going to do with those that work with you. One particular thing about HR is that you can't forget, or you must not forget, that you are going to work with people. And therefore, it cannot be translation. So you must think about people, because you are in between the management and the workers. Therefore, you must manage yourself properly. And that's why I do tell people that it is not about certificates. It is about certificates. It is not about certificate. It's about certificate. I created that word for myself, and it means what you sabi, what you know. Madam, in closure, you said something now that you use that to floor them, your experience, what you know. I agree with you. People like to flaunt certificates. But I've seen several places where certificates floored the people by themselves because they couldn't defend it. It's not about certificates, it's about what you know. That is exactly why I said something earlier, if you remember. I said, while the paper is on, nobody is permitted to go and take pictures outside. We are professionals, we should behave like one. Pictures, you can snap as many. Why should it be when paper is on? Some, that's why people ask, I hope I'm going to get the material. Even when you get the material, you might not have time to read it. It's important that you get the value at the right time. Some of us pass as much as we could in school as a result of just listening to lecture. And from a programmer's home, we never have time to do too much of things. So I listen to, all I know is lecture. Library, who? I don't have time for library. I have things to go and solve with my family. But lectures, I've been joking with lectures, and I never carry any paper over. I'll just remember the joke. I'll remember the example. I'll remember what was said. I'll just use that, answer everything. But you, sometimes you miss 1 week now. What's your problem with that? I don't even have the money to give any lecturer. But here am I today. What is important is how you get that thing. And that's why I said you must learn to unlearn to learn. Why? You must learn to add value to yourself. It's not about what you want to display. It's about what you are made of. What you are made of is what you are going to produce. Garbage in. So don't let us look at all she said as if we want to just, no. In as much as we want you to get value for your money, but it's not just about the money, it's about the value. Because the value will reproduce itself. What I expect most of us, or all of us have to do, is to make sure that everyone that works with you have a bite of what you have eaten today. And that is why they will not forget you. Result will come from there. I do tell people, result cancel insults. Results cancel insults. You don't have anything. You're the candidate. You belong to them everywhere. Every you belong to. Don't worry. You keep doing what you're doing. When result comes, they will know that it's, the first time I went to UK, it was from my office. They just say, my MD said, no. I said, oh, God, what did I do? He said, you have to go and relax in London. I said, me, I never ready to do that. To my salary at the plan said, no. While I was going for my visa, said, hey, madam, does she have her own passport? I said, no, get a passport. Madam must follow you. Yeah. Since that day, my woman became the counselor. You must go. Let's go and do this quick. No, it's important. The first GTB shares I got, the first time they did that public, whatever, it was one of the companies I worked for. I went to Benin, Edo, Delta to do some things for the company. When I came back, I reduced bill a lot. The man said, what? How did you do this? Then the public offer came out. He just picked form by himself. My MD feel by himself. That thing was 50,000, 250. I remember. I want to give you 50,000. Bring the 250. He collected the 250 from me. He said, no, your money is 50,000. That time, remember the first GTB offer? I paid rent from that money how many times? What we are saying is what you are made of. And please, Don't be an islander. You can drive Highland car, but don't be an islander human being. Extend to others. Share with them. People that work with me, there are quite a number of people that say, we have seen them come back. I have a lot of them online. They are my friends today. I don't do boss. I walk on the street with my staffs. I buy yogurt, you collect your own. So first we licking yogurt. If you like, don't know where boundary is. When it's time to use my pen, I'll use it. Then you know that Oga. But we relate well. Please, I want to thank you for your understanding. In fact, I love this set. I love this set. I love this set. They know me, I don't use words. I love this set. I love your understanding. I love the perspective you are bringing it from. Why? Because you are the extension of the institute. You are the one that will prove the institute right somewhere. You do it right, they want to know. How? I know you before now, Tolani. I know you now, James. What happened? Where did you become? I don't know. You don't know I'm a professional now. Yes, flaunt it. You don't know I'm a professional now. You don't know. I'm a full member of, I'm an associate of, I'm a doctoral fellow of. You tell them. It's not about the certificate. It's about the round of applause for yourself. Right. The representative of the president will say something, but at the same time, he will just say it and merge it with oath taking. So I won't be coming up again until after the oath taking. So while he's doing the talk, please get ready. Your oath papers are with you in your bags. Just hold them and wait. Please hold and wait. Then we'll deal with it later. Then those of you online, please, it's there on the screen. You're going to join to read. But after which you are going to download it, print, fill, then scan back and send to the office. I'll tell you details of how you're going to get data. What to do later about that after the oath taking. On this note, help celebrate Dr. Michael Fadekwe at the call.
Once again, it's nice to be here, representing the president of the institute. I just want to add some things. You know, this modern practice now in the world, HR has to be aware of this sustainability. You know, I mean, keeping abreast with the ILO requirements. There must not be no child labor, no gender discrimination. Allow the staff to form a union. They must negotiate, and you have to provide a very good work environment. That's very clear. And sustainability is an issue that's coming. That's why they also have the 17 SDG, Sustainable Goal Development. So this is what HR should look at. When we talk of gender discrimination, men, ICA is not taking, the women are taking over. You knew what this man did, Margaret, as the Prime Minister of UK. You know what Margaret did as the Chancellor of Germany. Let me tell you, let us just repeatedly. If you go to Lagos State public schools, there are more women teachers, principals, like that. And also, if you go to the judiciary, there are more women judges, magistrates. Not only that, let's go to the banks now. The women are taking over. So let's continue to say education and women or men. It's a fact. Look at Zenith, is who? A woman. First Bank, a lady. And other banks too. There are so many. Dividility. What of IBTC used to be a lady. So you see, so men, you have a lot to do. If you're just sitting down, they will get us and overtake us. I know what is preventing them in the presidency of Nigeria is because of the terrible corruption in the system. That's the thing. I will tell you a case study. It was in Apapa, a county in Apapa. They used to have, is a man that was a male HR. Although such people, they operate like the personnel manager of old, hire and fire. He was wrong, and the man, every day, if somebody is wrong with the production, they bring him over and say, yes, all those coming, at the end of the day, fire, dismissal, termination, all those things. Do you know that the man required and they brought a woman? And when they stay from production, they say, oh, I consulted, but oh, he's coming late. The man will tell you, sit down. Have you had your breakfast? Not yet. Oh yeah, give him food. Lunch. Oh yeah, there's a lunch package for you. Where do you stay? Ah, I stay in Ifo. And you're coming to Papa. You know what happened? Look for a house. Along other Ajigula, Papa. It's a true life story. I'll give you money. You make sure you get a loan and stay there. So and then the manager will be saying, what's happening? I've not seen the letter. No memo. The one scenario, he will transfer that man from another department to another department. He did it with human face. After 6 months, the MD said, what's happening? There are no more dismissal. There are no more letter. He said, and the union now supported the woman. There was a time the woman had a problem with the management. The union supported her because she operates. She had a human being. At the end of the day, I can tell by last year, she became an HR director in that company. HR director in that, and the next to the MD. So you need to do the job with human face. You know, you have to follow the rules and regulations, but also put the human face. And as I've said, men, we have to wake up. You know, the private sector banks, the women are taking over. The judiciary, the CJ of Nigeria is who? Is a lady. If you go to Lagos State, everywhere, magistrates, judges, you know, schools, you know, is there. So let us see that gender discrimination is there. But you need to get a woman, you need to give them opportunity. I think there's a new company, Namibia also is a woman president. We need women to come up. And when you have at least rate of corruption might also go up because your needs is not as ostentatious as that of the men. You know, just joking. Okay, let's us rise up for the oath taking. Standing. And this falls online. Let's also be upstanding. The vote is on the screen, on your screen there, you can see it. And please, every one of us that for this induction, kindly help free your right hand. You raise your right hand up while you say the vote. It's going to lead you, you follow. Thank you. Just wait. The Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. The Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. Fellow professionals all over the world. It articulates the abuse to which we aspire, as well as the behavior and the mandatory behaviors in our professional and voluntary roles. Therefore, as a member, I mention your name. Pledge as follows. Read after me. To conduct myself professionally with truth, accuracy, fairness, and response to the public. To pay my annual membership subscription on the 2nd of every January yearly. To foster the highest standards among those whom I'm responsible. To enhance the proficiency and safety of the profession by and applying knowledge in the most appropriate way, stroke manner. To participate in non-professional development programs so that one's knowledge and performance are enhanced. To protect myself from anything that can tarnish the good image of the institute or bring it to disrepute. To honor competence received or given in the course of my professional activities. To comply with the letter and the intent of the laws of the country in which I practice and agreed contractual obligations. To cooperate with all the organizations and individuals engaged in activities which promote development of standings in the institute. To have a positive duty at all times to respect the truth and shall not disseminate false or misleading information. To abide by and to encourage others to practice the professional code of ethics of the Institute that I make this pledge in good faith and accordance with the policy of the Institute. I understand that the Institute reserve the right to suspend me or dismiss me summarily from the membership of the Institute should I violate any of the above promises which are voluntarily made by me. So help me God. Amen. So you sign and put number and date. Thank you. I wish you all success and congratulations once again.
All right. Congratulations to you all. Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations online, congratulations on site, congratulations. Now listen, online on site. I can see you, Adeboye Aderunke, I can see you. Adekola Itunola, I can see you. Abe Tamuno, I can see you. Apata Adara, I can see you. Joseph Oladimeji Ojo, I can see you. Adekola Adeshino, I can see you. Bayo Ikuru, I can see you. Oladele Olunubi, I can see you. Charity Obona Oye, I can see you. Innocent, Anele, I can see you, and much more. Please, for all of us, help fill the form, sign your name, sign and do all that. If you have your passport here, hard copy, just one, write your name behind it. They'll staple it for you. You have stapler here, they'll take care of that. Just write your name behind it, they'll collect it. Everybody here, send it to the last person here. Everybody here, send it to the last person here. So somebody will go in between the aisles and take for both sides. If you don't, just hold on, calm down. In case you don't have your passport, no problem. Or if you have a soft copy, send it with your name details to that email you have on that form. Send it there, it can be done. Then for all of us online, when you print the form, fill it, sign, scan it back with your passport on it. So please make sure your name is well written. Scan it with your passport on it and send it to that same email. Then you are done. So we have 2 minutes to complete these forms now. Your time starts. Secretariat, let's have 2 more people in between the aisles to collect these forms, please. For now, everybody, let those there please come in now and start collecting these forms. So let's. I can understand. When NEPA comes, you're off generator. Is your name behind, sir? Don't worry, just put it, as long as your name is there. They cannot put Taju on top of Chioma. It's not possible. Just make sure your names are written behind. All right. Secretariat, my list, please. My list, please. If I still have your form, let me see your hand. You still have your form with you? Can you raise it up so that they can see you and collect it? Raise the form up, please. Just raise it a bit. Balenciaga, somebody's behind you. Collect it. All right. Please. You still having your form? Can you please raise it up? Somebody's at the front here, please. I'm not going to letter yours. Thank you. Secretariat, my list, online list. Anybody still with your form? Anybody with the form? With the old form? Anybody? None. Okay. I need all our attention, please. I'm sure all of us are used to that word. Attention, please. Attention, please. There's no plane you enter Nigeria. You must say, attention, please. So please, attention, please. All right. We're going to do something now. Permit me to first do that of online. Let's run it off. Because I discovered that most times when you do the on-site, you don't upload the online. So let's do online first. And what that means is that I'm going to read out the names in accordance to the various categories. And please help me free your hands. Free your hands. Free your hands. Free your hands. I think I need to see some folks. Free your hands. I'm close to 2. I'm moving closer. And all right. While I'm doing that, the monthlies for the doctorate and fellows and full members will be taken care of. But please help me upload them. Online inductees, please help me celebrate them. Let's start with doctoral fellows. Eze Dameto, Adio Moses Adekumilola, Akindeji Abiodun Craig, Emeje Malaki Iroro, Ogunyemi Sapiriyu Olusegun, Dr. Isaiah Oladoyojo, Oladimeji Lydia Yabo, Abigail Hart Ijoma, Olaiton Oyedele Olaoba, Adeyam Inusa Martin, Adaora Chibigo Apata, Joseph Oladimeji Ojo, Zainab Mohammed Chuko. Celebrate them for me, please. Chinwe Nwogo, Obuna Charity, Sima Aduko, Chuotamono Abe, Isa Jamilu Abubakar, Chukuka Anthony Chukemeka, Edima Maxwell Dahiru, Aziz Busayo Kennedy. I take the fellows immediately. Collins Boaz Tokumefa, Fatima Abubakar Mohammed, Akala Grace Samuel, Jayola Christiana Olubumi, Elliot Sinikiem Caleb, Oladele Oluyemi Olunubi, Ehabo Informal Banke, Tabitha Ladidi Adogo, Enegate Abraham, Olademidi Stella, Okoko Informal Chinwe. Celebrate them for me, please. I am more Ayodeji Peter, Akinshola Orobo Ali, Akala Oyepoju Ayofe, Ayobangbe Ewu Otiti, Adeyemi Abiodun Oluwaseun, Jamabo Iyegere Paka, Shegun Samson Ojobo, Safia Aminu, Fatima Abubakar Mohammed, Rabia Tushi, Shehu Churaki, Basi Femi Ajagbe, Edward Ofodile, Miriki Oluwa, Olaofomilola Olayinka, Indo Angela Obiagiri, Imonike Anosino Clancy, Kamalu Pleasure Odochi, Uzoegu Chibuzo, Adekunle Aderonke Adedonkun, Esom Chinwe Sylvia, Uguta Daniel Florence, Namani Ogechukwu Constance, Idari Afeyodion Christopher, Nura Alaji Bello, Isa Jamilu Abubakar, Olorunfemi Yetunde Olaide Amorin, Ayaoge Bralado Etipo, Adegoke Tolulope Adeseye, Ahmed Shamsuddin, Oye Antonio Onyebuchi, Abubakar Usman, Francis Wabango Cherish, Adegoke Tolulope Adeseye, Emmanuel Enelwe, full member, Wama Oguchuku Ernest, Agbola Olajumoke Folashade, Deborah Eku, Collins Eyinome Imafidon, Nusakari Isabota, Zenat A. Abdullahi, Mary Udendu. Celebrate them, please, for me. Thank you. Onyema Ijoma Augusta, Adegoke Isaka Olanewaju, Chizoma Samuel Anyanwu, Taiwo Rukayat, Olowo Ribi, okay? Tunde Moses Oladele, Linda Emasoge, Anti-Abasi Ifreke Nse, Owuna Demion, Obi Ekemeze Sumto Princess, Egila Lucky Man, Chika Mary Godwin, Adekola Adeshino Kamarudin, Linda Emasoge. Associate members, Rosemary Basi Esan, thank you, clapping for them, thank you very much. Olakunle Balikis Temitope, Michael Melody, Sani Yaya Onuche, Oladiran Babalala Joshua, Adekola Itunoluwa Oluwatosin, Nelson Christiana Oluwaseun, Demisola Ebesua, Olayinka, Mercy Order. Please celebrate them for me, please. Free your hands, please. Lazarus Chukemeka Dibiagu, Kidams Felix Masoyi, Duloha Regina Chika, Ishola Mercy, Olua Kemisola, Gikiade Temitope, Mercy Order, Abuja, Sonia, Ofori Senere, Catherine, Otubure, Igor Obo, Walter America Okoye, Alao Sunday Babaride, Lawrence Adeyinka Adelani, Raji Taufik, Vincent Luisa Ebere, Oyetume Gloria, last but not the least, Rosewe Oluwapusayo. Celebrate them one more time. Celebrate them for me one more time. Please celebrate them for me one more time. All right, we're going to go straight to the on-site. We're going to go straight to the on-site. What we do is this. Can you please listen? Photo Biafras, please, can you give us space? Photo Biafras, give us space. I need camera for my son. I will seize your camera. Now, listen. We're going to start with doctoral fellows, and all that. When I call your name, now you have already been decorated. So you're going to come to the stage directly to shake the rep of the president, shake with, don't worry, collect whatever with your left. Collect the plug, the frame with your left. Don't worry, it's not an insult. Collect with your left, shake with your right hand. I know you know, I'm just saying it. Shake with your, collect with your left hand and shake with your right hand. Permit me for time's sake, we will not do family support pictures here. Let's run it through. We'll do family support there. After we've done the group pictures, then we have time. Everybody with your family support, you go to the backdrop there, you snap as you like. Do you understand me now? So it will be very tidy that way and very fast. All right. Permit me to welcome Dr. Michael Fadikbe to the stage, please. Dr. Fadikbe, please. In no particular order. This is Dr. Agbola Veronica Oluwakemi. When you come to his left, make sure you're on his left. That's it, sir. So I'll give that. Okay, Dr. Salimot Omotolani, okay. It's okay, sir. Please, when they are done, they are done. No. It's on the stage. We'll do it outside, sir. Okay. All family support picture is outside, not here, please. After now, we'll do it well. Thank you. Dr. Lagunju, Temitope Oluwabukola. Dr. Adesimbo Ireti Banjo. Thank you. Yes, sir. Dr. Ajayi Kehinde Akinwale. Dr. Oyegbade Olushola Olaniyi Joseph. Please celebrate them now. Dr. Maya James Uchenna Okosa. Dr. Maya, okay. Dr. Oshodi Adebimpe. Dr. Adebola, please. Totubu Sen Olufunso Adebola. Please, always in the I will know you're around, please. Dr. Kozi David Erom Hene. All right. Dr. Itemisa Lawrence Coleman. Eguriase. Dr. Olusegun Edward Adegoye. Can still come this way. Come on. Dr. Alababola Lawson. Dr. Bernard Samuel Eventus. Dr. David Babatunde Abe. Please celebrate them now. Dr. Benjamin Ikade, Rosalind. Dr. Olaiton Ikemna Konam, Veronica. Dr. E. Onoja, celebrate, please, celebrate. After. Snap them, snap them. Nobody, they are discussing, snap them. Dr. Olorunfemi Elizabeth Omolabake. Okay, Dr. Toromade Francis. Dr. Joy Tegbefu Ayakilume. Dr. Oluwole Ayodeji. Let's do this. Let's do this. No. Don't worry, just hold on. Just hold on. Just hold on. Ambassador Chodore Henry. Am I correct? Where are you, please? I know he's somewhere behind there. All right, we'll go straight to fellows. Adebayo, all no, celebrate them, please. Celebrate, please. Fatima Joshua Adeni. Adesayo Bumi Cecilia. Henry Indidi Ogbemudia. Celebrate, please. Ogundipe Olajide Israel. Okon Godwin Effiong. Celebrate, please. Those of you on the right hand side. Okay, your cap are the same. I know what to do when it's your time. They'll open it now. I'm surprised I have to let. When you get this as full member, as a fellow, unwrap the parcel you got first now. Then you now know the content. Beyond the flag, Things are behind. Things. They are behind. Everyone knows. Yes, you are correct, sir. You say there is offer. Nínú èjè. Ochulo Onyechi Margaret. Ojo Olukayode Olumide. Please come with your cap. I'm going to attend to you. Ifeanyi Julia Brimo. Ifeanyi Julia Brimo. Jane Ochiwa Idokoko. I hope I pronounce that anyway. How do you pronounce it? I got the cocoa. That's the cocoa that I want to get. I got the cocoa. Florence Olufunke Oladapo. Florence, please celebrate now. Okay. I am waiting for you. That conference, two of you at the front are doing it. You will come and explain to me. Ojola Inka Aderemi. Ojola Inka Aderemi, please. Ibukun blessing Alarape. Yes, ma'am. Ibukun blessing Alarape, please. Imoeko Omokwane Helen. Make sure you are with your cap. Don't come without your cap. Helen, please. All right. Uche Ijoma Roslyn. Ifi Evelyn Mweke. Ifi Evelyn Mweke. Where's Ifi, please? I can see your voice, but I can't hear you. Okay. Dr. Shoma Elora Honor. Basi Atim Edet. Celebrate, please. Celebrate, please. Okay. So your Chidima Chinasa Waka Akazwe. If they have been Asemota. Asemota. All right, I can see your hand. Felicia Oluwayemisi Ekundako. Thank you for taking a new leave. Waka Chidi promise. Waka Chidi promise. Oluwole Olasumbo Busayo. Thank you for celebrating them. Thank you for the hand clap. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Olúbùnmi Dorcas Adédire. Olúbùnmi Dorcas Adédire. Where, okay, I can see you. Adetunji Olutunde Richard. Celebrate, please. Celebrate, please. Don't get tired. Don't get tired. We're almost done. Don't get tired. Alabi Olugbenga. Alabi Olugbenga. Blessing Tosin Relaye. Blessing Tosin. Ademola Abosede Florence, fellow. Ademola Abosede Florence. Ogu Oliver Ifechukwude. Itoha Abimbola Egbele. Itoha Abimbola Faith. Can you signify? Let's know where you are. Yellow top. Akano Olajumoke Omotola. Otubu Gbemileke Kayode. Thank you. Thank you for clapping. I appreciate you. For those extreme right, your sins are forgiven. Okay, we'll go to full members now. I don't. No. We have some. Why do it? Okay, sorry, we have some fellows to take care of. Daniel Akinyemi Oluwasogo. Adegboyega Adeola Rukayat. Otobo Isaki. Otobo Isaki, please. Now we'll go straight to full member. Momodu Oman Joy. Onyekachi Nwachukwu. Onyekachi Nwachukwu. Lamino Fatima Timilade. Owojo Rigbenga Gabriel. Owojo Rigbenga Gabriel. Full member. Billy Keys Oyindamola Salahuddin. Auntie Billy Keys, did you know you're going to wear blue gown? Because you matched the blue. You kill it. Oluwatosin Joy Ayodele. Oluwatosin Joy Ayodele. Nene Ola Amobioko. Nene, please. Chukebuka Posta. Ezenia. Juliet Moye Ayogo. Are you from? This should be Enugu State. I know that name when I serve. Where are you placed? That name. Yes. The Ayogo. Frederick Obiwa. Frederick, can I see you? Okay. Ọmọ nígbẹ̀yìn Adébọ̀wálé Faith. Ọmọ nígbẹ̀yìn, please, can I see you? Samuel Praise Oyewo. Samuel Praise Oyewo, please. Anthony Onyebuchi Patience. Grace Chaka Bolton. What about Everton or Chelsea? I love this name. Grace Chaka Bolton. Apenuwa Gbenga Ayodele. Apenuwa Gbenga Ayodele, full member. Celebrating, please. What is Onake Blessing Rhoda? Onase Blessing Rhoda? Dangana Deborah. Dangana Deborah, please. Celebrate, please. Celebrate her. Oyinye Favor Okonkwo. Wow. Davina Olushi. Davina Olushi, please. Are you the one coming out? Wow. Chioma Gift Oluchuku. Desmond Chidoze Lekanachi. Lekanachi. I'm sure it's Kanachi. Hold on. Bada Olajumoke M. Bada Olajumoke M. Olajumoke coming out. I'm seeing mail. Are we done with that one? So wait for our instructions. Sending your frame out would deprive you of something when I'm done. Abe Daniel Adebowale, associate now, associate. Abe Daniel Adebowale. Don't clap for him now. He's been your brother. Abiodun Temida Araba. Abiodun Temida Araba, please. Clap for your fellow associates now. Bangwe Solomon Adebayo. Only one person is clapping there. You are just talking to left and right. Two of them will marry you from here. Don't worry, we are ready to thank God. Today is Saturday. Just wait. Ofotoku Okemote Victoria. This one is my blood. This one is my blood, but she doesn't know that it's my blood. Do you know you're my blood? Yeah. Lawal Abdulhafiz Jimo. Akonde Rachel Olanike. Akonde Rachel Olanike. Are you the class captain? You want the class for you like this? Oladiran Babalola Joshua. Oladiran Babalola Joshua. It's got a nice smile. No wonder. Those guys, don't worry, you're clapping. Akime Jovita Omonzele. Where is Jovita? Osakwe Joy. Apolika. Something just to for me saying some of Badagry. By the name we shall know them. Something just to for me saying Amedu Ojomri. That's captain. So are you bringing the wedding ring? Okay. Mustafa Moshood Adetapo. Celebrating. Eh? Adamu Ibrahim Imalinobe. Hey, this name, eh? Adamu Ibrahim, please. The name long. Did you fill down form? Olufunso Okonlawon Samuel. Olufunke Okonlawon Samuel, please. Okay, chief whip of the class. What? Ukachukwu Onabuchi Prosper. Ukachukwu, right? Akisolu Lisom Olamide. Maureen Obiajulu Okeboya. Maureen, please. Esther Iyabo Adelere. See your mom on the floor. See your mom on the floor. Rusere Oluwabusayo. So Oluwabusayo, associate. All right. All right. Sorry for this. It's coming in now. Okeke Chinyelu, Ifoma, fellow of the Chartered Institute of Human Resource Management. Celebrate that for me. You have been patient enough. Are we done? Rhoda, blessing Onate. Full member, Rhoda, blessing Onate. Where are you? Can you indicate? Let me see you. Yes. So you can snap with it again. Yes, not ready now yet. Sorry, anybody here that I have not attended to you? Anybody? No. Doctor, thank you very much for your time. Thank you. Thank you. All the online audience, thank you. Can I see you clap? All the online. You are there online, I can see you. Can you please put your hands together? Let's see you clap. Okay, Florence, I can see you clap. Damian, I can see you clap. Oye, I can see you clap. Who is that? Safri Olusegun, I can see you. I can see you. Thank you very much. I can see you celebrate. Yeah. Who else is that? Olaoba, I can see you. I can see you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I just want to know that we can see you here. We're working together. All right. On this note, I want to thank everybody present for all that happened today. Listen, you're going to get a soft copy of the paper presented on your email. You're going to have it. You're going to have it. I know it's a burning issue on your mind, but don't worry, I have the answer for you. Then also, we are going to be added to a Telegram group where also we're going to have those that have been there before you, that you can share mine. Now, listen to this. The institute is open to assist in customized trainings. There's some things you can't handle by yourself. You rather let your institute come and handle it. I'm sure they have reasonable rates that you can discuss out, and it will be fashion customized. It will be based on the issue you want to be addressed, so that they will know that professional body has come to do it for the company, and the credit comes to you because you brought the solution. You understand what I'm saying? Now, don't forget what I said earlier. Result counts to insults. Very important. Thank you once, thank you twice, thank you a million times. I remain yours, Gideon Olubile is my name. All right, thank you very much. All right, on this note, permit me to ask that. Okay, before we close, this is what we're going to do. When we finish after prayer, we'll all go to that banner outside. We're going to snap pictures in groups. We're going to do doctoral fellow. Now, fellow and full members seems to be very much. We're going to break you in two, so that in two sets, so that it can be, or two or three. So don't need to crowd it. Let's do it and do it fast. Then after which now, individuals and family members can snap. In fact, while some are snapping there, some can come back inside here and use this for the family thing. You understand what I'm saying? Thank you very much. All right, I'll be upstanding. Another volunteer, please. Any volunteer? Any of the Alajas that can pray in English? Alaji, who is Alaji? If a Christian prayed earlier. But if they are none, then tell us your name, then you pray.
My name is Oshodi Adebimpe. We want to thank Allah for the mercies and grace He has given to us to be able to think and not just think, actualize these days. We thank Him for His grace. We thank Him for His mercies. We thank Him for His benevolence. We beseech His Majesty to reward and bless all of the awards that we have got today. May it continue to grow from strength to strength in health benefits to all of us. We pray that as we are now part of a member of this institute, grace. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahman Rahim. Malik Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Amen. Guide us to the right path. Guide us to the right path. Guide us to the right path. The path of those whom you have bestowed your blessings upon, and not the path of those whom you have led astray. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. Thank you. All right, thank you. Congratulations once again. And please make your way to that place now so that I can coordinate the